It kind of became a theme, specifically in that first half. The inability to, stop or get stops in the run game, and that just eats away at some yardage and creates some situations in second and then medium, second and short, and then add penalties to that. Undisciplined football in the front, and all of a sudden, whether you're handing the first down away or again, shortening the distance. With multiple downs still yet to go to convert, and so really disappointed in not stopping the run there specifically early. Although I don't know that we got a whole lot better as the day went. Obviously, you got to give the opponent credit, but we got to make sure that in those third down situations when you have the opportunity, and in a lot of ways you're buying more snaps. Clearly buying more snaps after those conversions. And they make a play and we don't. And there's a theme there. There's a theme there forming over the last few weeks. The opponent makes plays, we make plays, and then at some point there's a jockeying back and forth who makes the most on the given day. And we're just not making enough plays defensively, and specifically on third down. Then you're just asking for long drives and you're asking for momentum. And it was very, very, very difficult for us to turn the tide momentum-wise. I mean, I think there's, as I said, there's a theme forming over the last few weeks is an inconsistent unit, and so whose fault's that? It's all of ours, obviously, specifically me. It does come down to practice. That's where you attack those issues. It comes down to the plan, making sure from a coaching staff standpoint that you're asking to do the things that put them in a situation that can be most successful. It's also having an awareness of every extra hat you put in the box. It limits you from a coverage standpoint, and making sure that we're taking care of some young DBs, and so that's kind of the some of the issues that you're faced with defensively. And in the end, what we need to do is we got to find ways to make more plays, and maybe guilty a little bit as a play caller and trying to call some things to initiate that play and maybe that is the inappropriate thing to do, but trying somehow, some way to get that TFL that we've been so known for. As one of the better defenses against the run. Really over the last year or so, to see where we find ourselves today is extremely disappointing, and we all got to take responsibility for it.
I just think we've got to play better. I mean, that's kind of like we said last week. I mean, it's that secondary gets better when you start pressuring the quarterback. That secondary gets better when you handle the zone run game and an athletic quarterback better than what we did. The secondary gets better when you're not constantly having penalties that put them in plus situations. So we know we've got to continue to get better there. We're looking for that right lineup that we feel like is going to give us a spark, especially with so many guys out. So kind of like I said before, I think it's going to be a combination of the guys that have been getting all these reps need to take some jumps and need to improve, and then obviously hope to be able to get a number of these guys back here pretty quickly, and the combination of that needs to be better for us. Yes. I mean, they practice against our offense every day, and we use the exact same thing. So we probably practice against it as much as anybody in the country. So no, I mean, it's what happens is when you're not focused in the beginning of the game and you jump off sides a few times, then of course they're going to use it more. Everybody's going to be more on edge about it. And I mean, again, it's you buy some of that when you're sloppy early. You don't jump, you hold it, do what you need to do. You're probably not going to get as much of that as the game goes on. So again, we're a little bit of our own worst enemy there. So got to be more focused. People are going to hard count you. That's part of college football, but I don't think any effect on our calls. We just got to obviously handle it better.
Ultimately, just getting the right guys out there at the right time. Coaches are going to fix. I was walking to the tunnel walking to the locker room with Grinch after the game, and it was just a brief conversation, and it ended up the final word said we're going to figure this out and we're going to get it fixed. And it's just the inconsistency is a big disappointing part, because we see what we're capable of doing when we get 3 and outs or stops like that when we need them. But it feels like when the game starts, or if the game is a possession or two, in our favor or something like that, it just seems like that's when the inconsistency started coming in. But it feels like whenever we need to stop or whenever we need a big play, it seems like that's when we get it the most. And then that's just a mindset we cannot have if we want to be that elite team that we have the aspirations of being.
Why aren't we seeing that more? I think as opposed to saying, credit goes to us for making that comment, we constantly make that. No one talks about it more. we got to do maybe less talking and more actual doing. But where are those snaps? Where are those gang tackles with guys stripping at the football? What are we doing wrong as a coaching staff to not convince guys of the impact of those plays? Because we keep seeing the impact once we do that. Why is that not happening more? And maybe the second guy to the pile might be the first guy. But just all the way down to the ground, just dying for that football and the impact. You want to get off the field, make a play. In the end, that's what, or you're just going to hope that the opponent messes up. And so thrilled with Key stepped up. If I think about the guys that have stepped up over recent weeks, that list is very short, which means we got to do a better job of preparing the guys. But he'd be one of the guys at the top, has just stepped up in his role as we've had some guys out in the secondary and made a huge play in that game today, and we need to make more of them.
Yeah, he's a young guy that's getting better, man. He plays really fast, and he can really run, but he's starting to see things more and more. And thought we had a couple errors with a few of our linebackers in some of their zone read game, and Shane came in there and had some really big plays. So he's a young guy that's getting better and better, and kind of giving us more reasons to want to continue to throw him the ball, or to put him in the game and get him involved. And so, we got to continue to have more young guys step up like that. That are getting these reps, getting that time. I mean, great teams. A large number of the teams kind of steps up in the second half of the year, and some of those early mistakes and some of the freshman ball in the beginning and all that starts to really clean up and polish as you go on. So he's done a good job of it. Need to have more do it, like Shane.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.